Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're back with another team outlook. This time it's the Kansas City Royals and Blake. I think they had a really good offseason for what it's worth. They brought back Michael Wacha, they brought back Michael Lorenzen, they got Carlos Estevez, they traded for Jonathan India, they also brought in Joey Weimer, Ross Stripling, Kevin Biggio, and Luke Maley. They did let Stripling go today though,
Yep.
as we lead into the season. But they did lose Brady Singer, Adam Frazier, Paul DeYoung, Will Smith, Tommy Pham, Robbie Grossman, and Yuli Gurriel. So, um, it's Brady Singer for India. I like the trade for both sides, and not often do you get to say that, but I think that where the Royals were in their rotation and also the depth they have, they could make Brady Singer expendable and go get a young player that fits their young core. So I do like that move. And then Carlos Estevez is a much needed back end piece that the Royals just haven't had, other than when they traded for Urseg
Yep.
last trade deadline.
Yep. Yeah, that you just kind of led into my point I was going to make. It's a nice two-headed monster at that back end of the bullpen with Lucas Hrsig and Carlos Estevez, who had some pretty good seasons in an Angels uniform and had some moments with the Phillies as well. So, I like the bringing back Michael Wacha. I think he's a very underrated guy. Lorenzen is a very serviceable guy too. And then you mentioned India. I think he's going to be a pretty good piece for them. But let's go over that lineup.
Yeah, it's going to be India, Witt, Pascantino, Perez, Massey, Renfro, Melendez, Michael Garcia, and Kyle Isbell. On their bench, they have Fermin, Lofton, Blanco, and Canna, who they just acquired.
Yep.
Um, the top of this order, Bobby Witt, obviously one of the best players in the game. He's projected 31 homers with 32 stolen bases. He's going to be all over all over the field, whether it's defensively, moving around the bases. He's just making things happen. He's one of the stars of the game. There's not much more to say about Bobby Witt. You got
Yep.
Salvi Perez, old reliable,
Yep.
going to be catching, going to be DHing, going to pop some homers. And then Vinny Pascantino missed some time last year, and I think that's going to be the guy that kind of changes the narrative for this team. I think they could have potentially won the division last year if it wasn't for him going down.
Yeah.
Um, Hunter Renfro, I mean, we'll see with him. Uh, Michael Massey projected 17 homers. MJ Melendez is always kind of he's only 26 and it feels like he's been up forever
Yeah.
at this point.
Yep.
Um, but all in all, I think this team it steals a lot of bags. It's going back to those teams that won the World Series. They steal a lot of bags. They make things happen, and really for me, the bread and butter of this team is the pitching staff, and that's Cole Reagan, Seth Lugo, Michael Wacha, Michael Lorenzen, and Chris Bubich. And it's Reagan's has come on the scene since getting traded over there.
Yep.
Seth Lugo has been unreal since becoming a full time starter. Michael Wacha is just consistent there in and there, day in and day out. I mean, if we look at last year, a 3.14 in Reagan's, a 3 for Lugo, a 3.35 for Wacha, a 3.31 for Lorenzen. And for me, I mean, they're projecting them to have much worse seasons, but I can't see them being that much worse than
Right.
what they were. They do have Alec Marsh and Kyle Wright starting the season on the IL, so you would expect Alec Marsh to take one of those rotation spots when he's back.
Yep.
And rounding things out, the bullpen: Estevez, Urseg, Harvey, Schreiber, Zerpa, Stratton, Long, and Lynch. Blake, what's your take on this lineup, first off? And do you think that it's the best lineup in the AL Central?
I do think it's the best lineup in the AL Central. I think there's a lot to like about this team. They're young. They got swagger. Like you mentioned, they run the bases like crazy. Like you got Michael Garcia projected to get 30 stolen bases in the eight hole. Um, the bottom of that lineup's gonna be making stuff happen. I think Isbell's a good nine-hole hitter, turn over that lineup as well. So the top of the order is unbelievable. I think India's the perfect guy that this team needed to go out and get. A guy that can hit the homers and get on base and steal some bags, and he just fits the identity so much of what the Royals kind of like to do offensively. And then obviously you got the old guy back there who's about to be 35 years old, and Salvi Perez, who is going to be one of the most consistent guys in that lineup. So Bobby Witt's must watch TV. He's electric, and you hope for a healthy season from Vinny Pasquantino.
Yeah, and someone that we haven't mentioned yet or listed, Jack Caglione is on his way, and
Coming, he is electric.
if it's anything like it's been in the spring and what it was in college, it's going to be a enforced bat right off the rip. He's going to be impactful. So,
Like it's just
um,
loud, loud, loud contact from him. Like it's some of the homers he hit this spring was. I was like, "Oof, that's gonna be it's gonna be a big bat."
yeah, I would like to see them. And this bench seems kind of open to me. Like there's some minor league guys that can get a bench spot. Call me crazy. This guy's still a free agent. I wouldn't hate to see them bring back Whit Merrifield as a bench piece,
Mm,
just as utility. Um, I know they had Adam Frazier in the past, kind of play that role.
yeah,
I wouldn't hate to see Merrifield come back to where it all started and finish out his career, but um, if we go over to the standings and it's projection time, they actually have the Royals coming in third, uh, backed by 2 games, 82 and 79. I'm just going to go out there and say I think they are going to exceed expectation. I
yep.
think they will be in the playoffs, and I think that they will win this division. The
Yep.
only team, after doing all of these teams' outlooks, the only team that I think that will really surprise us, and it's not even a surprise because they won over 90 games last year, is the
Guardians.
Guardians.
Yeah,
The Guardians are a completely different roster than they were a year ago. At least it feels that way.
yeah.
But the Guardians can still. I mean, they're going from 91 wins to a projection of 78.8. The Guardians are the team that scares me the most for the Royals. I think the Twins, we talked about in their outlook, the injury bug between Correa, Buxton, Royce Lewis,
Yep.
that might derail them there. And then the Tigers, they got really hot. And can they replicate that? Was that just, lightning in a bottle? Um, all these teams have to play the White Sox 15 plus times, which will help their case to make the playoffs, whether it be a wild card or win the division.
Yep.
And with that said, I think it comes down to the Guardians and the Royals for this top spot.
Yeah, I think you're bang on about that. I think the Guardians, they're going to be a better team than 78 win team. Like I think they'll be in the mid 80s. I don't think they're going to replicate their 91 win season, but they're going to win more than 78 games for sure. I'm going to take the Royals to win the division as well. I picked them to win the division or not win the division, make the playoffs last year, but I think they can continue to build and that pitching is consistent and Bobby Witt is going to continue to lead this team and lead them offensively. And I just like their offseason, man. They did a very good job, and I think they're going to win the division.
Alrighty, well, that's gonna do it for this one. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. As always, we appreciate you guys for listening and watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.